Oh my god, if I knew these things when I started iRacing, I would have been way further ahead. I've been on iRacing for a little over a year, and here's 6 things I wish I knew before I started. The first thing I wish I didn't do is worry so much about my iRating. When I was new to iRacing, I was so stressed out about it. I always wanted to be the fastest at whatever track was being run in whatever series. The week before a car track combo was in the schedule, I spent 5 or 6 hours just practicing it, trying to be the fastest so I could get as much iRating as possible. And to be honest, that approach is just wrong. iRating isn't a measure of how fast you are. It's a measure of so many other things like consistency, your ability to not crash, your ability to cleanly overtake. Don't stress out about it. In your first 6 to 12 months, learning those skills that I mentioned earlier and getting used to iRacing should be your #1 priority. After some time, your iRating will reach a level where you can't gain anymore. That's when you should put your main focus on getting faster. But for now, just focus on the little things. Keep in mind that I'm not saying don't get faster. That's a huge part of it, but it's not the biggest. Going off of that, the next thing is to not be worried about your safety rating. Alright, story time. When I was B license in road, I wanted to get promoted to A license so badly. There was 1 week left in the season, and I really wanted to race the IMSA series the next season, which you need an A license for. I spent so many hours playing and staying up late trying to reach a 3.0 safety rating. Every race, I started from the pit lane and was driving so slow to avoid crashing that I was getting lapped in 15-minute races. I lost over 500 iRating doing this. And the worst part is that I didn't even reach A license after doing all of that. Don't be like me and stress out about your safety rating. Just like your iRating, your safety rating will come naturally on its own. You just have to give it some time. I was trying so hard to get my safety rating up, and I honestly burnt out because of it. Don't repeat this mistake. This next one kind of relates to the safety rating part, but I'll make this its own thing. You know how incident points affect your safety rating? Yeah, well, they also affect it during practice, qualifying, and after the race. Let me explain. All incidents during an official session count. When I say all incidents, I mean all incidents. This means that all incidents during qualifying, after the race ends, and during the 3-minute practice that you get before the race count against you. So if you're one of those people who wreck others after the race or do victory burnouts, I would advise against it. Don't worry though, because incidents in separate practice servers don't count against you. For example, let's say you register for a race that starts at 5 p.m. and it's 4:45 p.m. Then you join the practice server that the game assigns to you. Incidents in that practice server won't count, but when it's 5 p.m. and you join the race, the incidents will start counting. Hopefully that made sense. Do what you will with this information and just be careful. The next thing I wish I knew when I started iRacing is to buy iRacing during a sale. iRacing usually has sales around Black Friday and New Year's every year. During Black Friday, it's a 25% discount for current members and a 50% discount for new members. This is huge and could be the difference between a 1-year and a 2-year subscription. This kind of goes in with what I was talking about earlier, but for 99% of people watching this video, don't buy iRacing on Steam. It's more expensive and harder to deal with. The only exception for this are people who live in countries with regional pricing on Steam. Certain countries have regional pricing on Steam, and if you live in one of those countries, you can get a pretty big discount on iRacing just for being in your country. Alright, the next thing is to know what you're buying. I know this might seem obvious, but hear me out. I made this mistake twice. The first time I made this mistake was when I was trying to buy the Porsche Cup car. You know, the one without any assists that has its own series? Yeah, that one. Well, I accidentally bought the legacy Porsche car from the GT3 grid. Yeah, you can laugh, it's okay. Since this car was a legacy car, I couldn't even race it. The second time, I bought the legacy Mercedes AMG GT3. This time, I didn't realize that it said legacy see in the car name, so I just bought it thinking that it was the new Mercedes-AMG GT3. That didn't end up well for me, and I couldn't race that either. Just make sure to read the car's name before buying it. If you're really unsure, ask someone online to confirm it's the right car. Just please don't make this mistake like me. The last thing I wish I knew was how to protest. In rookie lobbies, the driving standards are horrendous. Intentional wrecking, people not seeing you, people getting pissed on voice chat. It sucks. When I was a new driver, I didn't know how to protest, and it didn't end up well for me. During one of my first few races, I passed another driver. They got mad at me because I guess they didn't expect me to overtake them or got their ego shattered. I got intentionally wrecked by them right after that. At the time, I had no clue that iRacing had a protest system, so I couldn't report this person. I'm telling you, if you see people like this, just report them. It takes 5 minutes to do, and it's for the good of the platform if people like this get banned. Those were 6 things I wish I knew before getting iRacing. I hope you found these tips helpful and that they save you some of the headaches that I went through.